Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to an episode here at Top Tier Talk. We're going to start things off with a top four race. Chris, you versus me, brother, but it seems to be you with a 4-0 juicy win is going up the ladder, whereas Arsenal, 2-1 loss against Brighton seems to be knocking us down. So it's an interesting little race. Amir, 6-0 coming straight back up the bouncing ladder, whereas Benzema's handing your arse on a plate for you. Chavez, 1-0 against Everton. Seems to be those pre-game friendlies are really doing you justice. And then Daniel, 3-0 Leeds. Sort it out, but let's get straight into the video. So, Chavez, let's get to the depression out the way. Yeah, 1-0 Everton. Sure. Frank Lampard getting a result against you. He seems to be safe. Well, not safe, but like more or less out that relegation kind of barrier now. Whereas you guys lost another pre-game friendly. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I said last week that a lot of United fans are still not hitting that stage of acceptance. Maybe now a few more have. For me, I've accepted we're not going to get top four, so I'm not too depressed about that loss. Just sort of, I'm not even shocked. I don't know what I feel now these days. I just feel nothing when I watch the games. I think it's more about how these players, they surprise me in the sense that they can literally put no effort in week in, week out. Surely every now and then they might feel that actually let's put a bit of effort in this week, but we're not getting that right now. These players, they run less than the other team every week. It's a weird thing because Everton played on Wednesday and we haven't played for a week. And again, you have the same shit about how we had great training sessions coming up to the game and how it doesn't come across on the pitch. I don't know what that is. Now it's getting to the point where some fans have now turned on Ranić as well. It's worrying when people do that because how many more managers do we need to go through before you actually, turn your focus to the players? We're seeing it now. These players have played terribly under a few managers. So I wouldn't blame Ranić. He's come into a job that is just unsolvable. And yeah, we were just shit back to front. Well done to Everton. I think they should be thanking us because we've given them their turning point this season. We could have fully relegated Everton in that game, and we didn't. So, yeah.
Any comment on the Ronaldo slapping the phone out of that kid's hand? Bless him.
Well, it's very ironic that video was muted, by the way, because I'm sure he was shouting his abuse. But obviously, you're not allowed to attack a kid because that's technically what Ronaldo almost did. He didn't batter and bruise him like the mum was going on about on Facebook, but you can't do that. I mean, it's Ronaldo.
Yeah, I know.
He should know better. And it just sums it up, doesn't it? We were about to go into a week where, actually not a week, maybe a day in which there wasn't going to be a crisis aside from the game, aside from the football. And there you go. There's another off the field crisis. It's just usual Man United, isn't it?
It seems to be the case. It's obviously, as you said last week, you said Ten Hag coming in. Obviously, when you see like a few United fans coming in saying, "Oh, if Ten Hag comes in, we're going to give him patience. We're going to give him this." Yeah, you're more than welcome to give him patience. But if you, as you said, like if you get the same shit from the same players, it doesn't matter who your manager is. You could bring back fucking prime Jose Mourinho or prime Ferguson and slick them back in there, and it still won't change because you still got the same mentality from them players. Someone obviously said, and you probably said it a couple of weeks ago, when you see the likes of Harry Maguire being captain for Manchester United Football Club, that man is giving instructions to a 37-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo who's practically won it all and is probably one of the best footballers in the world. Like how do you go about like kind of changing the club to a point where the players think, yeah, do you know what? I want to play for this club. I want to play for the badge and, live up to the reputation of Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of the things, isn't it? The dynamic. I'd love, how much money I'd pay to just be in that dressing room for a day just to see what's going on, because it would be really interesting to see Harry Maguire just sitting there giving a team talk to all these Champions League winners, successful players, because I can't personally see it. And I can't see them even giving him the time of day. That's like me talking. That's like me going into a dressing room, right? And saying to Ronaldo, big performance today. And the difference between me and Maguire is I haven't been relegated 4 times and he has, and we've won the same amount of trophies. So it is basically me going in, isn't it? It's like us going in and telling Ronaldo what to do, except we're probably, I don't want to say we're more successful than Maguire, but we have the same success as Maguire in football. We have 0 trophies and he has 4 relegations. That's what it is right now.
You did freeze for a second there, Shabazz.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, just briefly. But, I'll probably ask this question every single week, but is there any high hopes for the rest of the season? Or are you just like, do you still watch the games or do you kind of just wing it?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter?
I watch the games, but it's like I'm there, but I'm not there, as in I'll be looking, but I don't know what I'm looking at. Do you know when you zone into...
Do you not care?
No, it's not that. Do you know when you look at something and it's there, but you're not actually looking at it? You're just kind of looking into the abyss. That's what I'm doing with Man United games right now sometimes, because I kind of lose touch of what's actually happening. When they show disinterest, the fans become disinterested. and they show a lot of disinterest. So it's really easy to kind of just forget what's happening in front of you. A few more preseason games, a few more games for these players to demonstrate they want to stay at Man United. A lot of them don't, and they're doing a very good job of showing that by not trying. So well done. We can see that very clearly from some of you. But yeah.
Very last question before I move on. Chavez, if you were the owners, or you were Rangnick or whatever, or you were Ten Hag coming in, who would be your first port of call to get rid of? Who would be the first player to go get out of my club?
I think it's important to remove players that aren't footballers. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We'll begin with him. He's not a footballer. He's a very good off the ball player. Even more than Maguire. Yeah, I think Maguire will probably do well with Ten Hag. A progressive ball playing centre back under Ten Hag, he might excel. But yeah, Wan-Bissaka is, again, I actually think I'd love to see Wan-Bissaka in rugby, because he's a good tackler. I reckon he's got that strength, upper body. He'd do well in rugby, but with football, off the ball, he's great. But on the ball, I've never seen something worse. So he needs to go. And in a Ten Hag system, he's not going to work. So yeah.
Could he not work on a three at the back, maybe? Like a right centre back or something? As you said, he is good at tackling, isn't he?
The thing is, I don't think Man United should change their whole formation for one man who's not even good at football.
No, of course.
Good point.
That's
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Hard to argue with that, to be honest.
That's it. Tough mentality for a Manchester United fan at the moment. But Daniel, I'm going to move on to another tough mentality for you. It was a big game for you, for the Orns. Watford versus Leeds. You had to win it in order to kind of have a little bit of fighting point to get out of that relegation zone. But I think it's pretty much signed and sealed for you to go down, I'm afraid.
So I'm just going to touch on what Chavez said there about staring into the abyss. So essentially, all Watford fans are staring at a double-barreled shotgun, and the person that's shooting it is Scott Duxbury and the Pozzo family. Essentially, the players are shit, but you can only be so shit.
Yeah. If you had to sum up the Watford Leeds game in 2 words, what would it be?
I can't say what I want to say.
Say it.
Oh, God.
No, I can't sum up.
Absolutely abysmal.
Hodgson out, Duxbury out.
Ooh.
Big words. Big words.
Well, the second one's a 3-letter word. No, starting off with the lack of game. No, really, no words. To be fair,
I get that.
We were terrible. As you said, as Chavez, obviously, as we just mentioned, Everton beat United 1-0, which wasn't ideal. Not the end of the world if we could match their results. And then we go and do that. Similar to the Norwich game earlier on in the season, we can go, oh, cool, we're playing bottom of the league, we can win, get 3 points, and that would have taken us to the relegation zone against Norwich. And all of the Sissoko sends out a letter to all the fans, going, we need you, whatever. Bring all the pyrotechnics out and we can lose 3-0. Same again. Everyone's like, oh, massive game. Could change our season. Go and lose 3-0.
That's it.
What about this then? We passed them the ball. We passed them the ball like their 3 goals. So that just sums it up. That
second goal was dreadful, Dan. Especially. Was it the second one? The defending was...
Both of them. We just... Samir passing the ball for both of their goals.
Dan, I'd ask the same question to you as I asked to Chavez. If you were in charge, if you were like Hodgson, if you were whoever you are, what would be the first port of call decision that you'd make straight away at Watford Football Club? Differently, to make a better change, to try and bring like a solid like football into the club.
Besides, the obvious answer is get rid of players and bring new ones in. That's the obvious answer for everyone.
Maybe actually, change the formation?
Not even the formation, because we didn't score, but looking at the stats, the amount of like successful dribbles going forward, we were like highest in the league. We were like absurdly high. We had like 30 something successful dribbles, I think. We had like 10 nutmegs going forward. Like going forward, Sarr had a massive chance. He ruined it as well.
Yeah.
But just sit down with the players and go, look, what's going on? Like,
there needs to be a point, isn't it, where you have to sit down with them as
the
normal people and just say, look, what are you actually doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like a normal everyday job, though. Like, if we were doing bad at our job, if we weren't doing our job properly, if we weren't hitting our targets, we'd get pulled into the office and say, like, what are you doing? You need to pick it up, or you're getting sacked.
As Chavez said, apart from the obvious, getting rid of the players, which, looking at the team,
seems a few
Sar's really going to go.
Yeah.
Sar, Dennis, Kiko can go. Foster can fuck off.
Another cycling GK.
Yeah,
The YouTuber himself, Dan. Come on.
Yeah, good.
Put Watford on the map.
Nah.
No driving license, bless him.
Yeah, poor guy lives in the Midlands and has to travel down each day.
Dan, just to weigh in here, I'd do the opposite for me. I'm trying to convince as many of these players to stay for next season. If I'm Watford manager, trying to come back in the Prem with the best ball.
Would you not want to keep like Dennis or Sar? Like what?
Yeah, try and convince these guys to stay because
we're in a lot of debt. We're in a lot of debt. If we can get money for
liquidate Watford,
take it and run. The form that he's in, whether he's injured, whether he's not fit, whether he's not interested, he come out and made a statement saying his old agent said that he was leaving in the summer, which is fair enough. He got on about that, but no matter what it is, he's not. Whether it's Hodgson's tactics, whether it's him himself, he's not playing well at all. Again, if we can take money for Dennis, take it and run. We've got other players that are coming in. But no, in regards of keeping players, we got relegated, whatever it was, 2 years ago, with Foster in goal, Kiko at right back, Kabasele at centre back, Cathcart at centre back, and Messina at left back. Well, when we got promoted, Messina was our starting left back, Foster was our starting keeper, Kiko was our starting right back, and Kabasele played on Saturday and still plays, and Cathcart was our starting centre back. So you got relegated with a crap defence, and then you come up and get promoted, and then you expect something different with the same players, and you expect something different. Hence my comment about Scott Duxbury. We got relegated. He sent out a massive letter out to the fans, going, "We've learned from our mistakes. We're going to change it. We're going to do this. Going to do that." We've gone backwards. We've got promoted and gone backwards. I don't know how, but we have.
It's like ignoring all the red flags, isn't it?
Then, like Duxbury.
Yeah,
but it seems to me you need to hit a factory reset at Watford.
So I saw a tweet. I don't know who tweeted it, but it was because Duxbury used to be at Palace, and then I'm pretty sure, and then they hounded him out because he was crap, and now we can see why. But all of the comments that he's made, even before that letter, even when we was in the Prem last time round and trying to be the best of the rest when we got to the Cup final, and when we finished 11th, and we were 7th and still bottled that with 3 games to go and whatever. The comments that he's made have almost, instead of actually being put into action by us, have been put into action by the other Pozzo-owned club in Udinese. They're not doing great in Serie A. Obviously, it's not competitive, but they've somewhat secured themselves. If that makes sense. Like what he said about our club is just they've just turned it around and used it on Udinese. Like just no.
It's a tough one for Watford because obviously now you've got to endure the season in the Championship, which I do recall you actually saying like not too long ago that you actually prefer Championship football. So
I don't. Well, no, for the club. For the club, obviously, you want Premier League football. That's the be all end all. You want to be in the best league, playing the best players. You get more money, more opportunities, whatever. Attract better players. But as a league, I think the Championship's more entertaining than the Premier League, which again for you guys isn't going to make a lot of sense because you don't watch it. But there's like 10 teams that can get promoted and 10 teams that can get relegated each season.
Yep.
Which is why we got lucky when we got promoted, because you look at Bournemouth again, they're probably going to come up again this season, but they had to reset because they didn't get promoted. They've got players on big wages, big money signings, which is sort of why Norwich can keep their players because they go up and down and up and down. Whereas if you look at Fulham, it's been sort of 2 or 3 years since they've been in the Prem. You look at Borough, it's been a while. Look at Leeds, got relegated into League One. They were at the Prem for like 15, 16 years. It's not an easy league to get out of. But yeah, no.
That's the life of a Watford fan. Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, it's done now.
Yeah,
it seems. Yeah,
just try not to finish 20th.
That's your next objective. Yeah,
that's the only thing. Yeah.
But you know what's going to happen? We're going. Brentford are on a run of 4. We'll probably sneak something on Saturday and everyone's going to go, oh, we might be able to do it. And then we'll just We'll lose.
Then,
we'll lose the week.
Yeah.
The hope comes up. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's it. But Amir, moving on to a little bit more happiness, but we'll start with a little bit of sadness. 3-1 against Real Madrid. Benzema on form against you. Seems to be a little bit of a tough mission for you next time you play, obviously, Real Madrid. Obviously, you've got to make sure everyone's on form for that game. But then you go and whack Southampton 6-0 on the weekend. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, a bit of a roller coaster, isn't it? Yeah, Champions League. I was somewhat confident, hopefully get a result against Real Madrid. And then Benzema, bloody hell, what a player. 2 brilliant headers. That first one especially from that far away in the top bins. What I think best player in the world right now, boys. You all agreeing?
I say so.
Yeah, definitely.
Behind Pedri.
2 back-to-back.
Behind who? Martinelli.
Pedri, not Martinelli.
Well, fair enough. But yeah, back-to-back hat-tricks. Yeah, brilliant. I think we were kind of like at fault as well for the result, especially the third goal with Mendy. The mistake. That's what happens. The risk you take when you play out.
Silly mistakes sometimes like that cost you, though, doesn't it? It must get annoying when you see stuff like you're thinking, do you know what I mean? Like, it's annoying to watch.
Because 9 times out of 10 he doesn't do that. Or
exactly.
He has recently, but it had to happen then, and it kind of makes our job difficult in the second leg.
Exactly.
Lukaku missing that free header as well. Like, another day he should be scoring anyway, but he would be scoring that. Then 3-1, it's going to make our job really hard.
It will.
The second leg, we're going to be on our
because
game.
Yeah, you're going to be absolutely
It is really exciting. But it wasn't like Real Madrid dominated us because we had chances in the second half. As I said, we gave them the third goal, but it'll be interesting. And then roll on Saturday, we beat Southampton 6-0. Werner scored 2 goals. I don't know how he did that.
Yeah, the vendetta against that guy. You wanted him at your club. You still want him at your club?
Yeah, in that first half, he hit the post twice and the crossbar, and missed the free header. He hit the crossbar, empty goal. Bloody hell, that guy just gets on my nerves, doesn't he? Now, Mount having a good game. It's because he got a haircut. Yeah, he's stat pad. He's back to his best now. He's got a trim now. We were good. We needed that response, losing 2 games in a row. That 6-0 is what we needed. And yeah, as I said, we're going to just see what happens against Real Madrid. I'm going to try and stay confident, but it's going to be so difficult for us to get a result.
Big game for you guys.
No way goals helps, but if Benzema's on his A game again, I don't know what's going to happen because
he's a tough
unbelievable,
guy to beat.
Unbelievable. Their team's good, but I don't know what it is with. I'm just going to go on to Benzema for a little bit because I was just like, wow, against us and against PSG. We didn't see him against, like, when Ronaldo was there, he wasn't like this, was he? He wasn't the go-to guy. What do you guys think was the reason for that?
Who, Benzema?
Yeah,
I think he was. I actually think he was. He wasn't necessarily the go-to guy, but he was still stat padding up. He wasn't. He was just like, you got Bale who's performing and Ronaldo who's performing. Do you know what I mean? They're all still getting the goals. It's just like, it's one of them ones where when you've got a bigger name above you, it's quite hard to obviously make a name for yourself, even though you're still getting these goals.
When he went to PSG.
Exactly.
Benzema's been...
He's been good. He's been fantastic since like 26 years old.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Because as you said, of the spotlight, hence, as I said, the whole Neymar situation. But it's always your MSN, like your Messi, Suarez, Neymar, and your BBC of Benzema, Bale, and Cristiano, wasn't it, at Madrid?
Yeah. But like the impact he's having now, I don't remember this when they were winning the Champions League. Like, he was good. He was always good. But this form right now, I could potentially see, I'm going to put it out there, if I predict the league.
He's on Ballon d'Or.
Ballon d'Or. I think they're going to win the league. I think if they get far in the Champions League, and he's in the France team, a good France team that just won a World Cup as well. If he wins that or gets far in that, you can't put it past him getting Ballon d'Or, can you? If he has a great tournament.
But you can, because the Ballon d'Or is just going to go to Messi, Ronaldo. But
no, I don't think
now.
so this season.
I do want to say something though, Amir. Obviously, going back on the topic of Chelsea as well, I do want to say, as I start watching Chelsea a little bit more, even against the 3-1 defeat against Real Madrid, like, Havertz is actually a fantastic player. Just watching him against like Real Madrid, like, obviously you didn't get the result and everything like that. It's annoying, but from what I can see when he's playing, is that, what is he playing, like a number 10 role just behind? Like, he's actually doing such a good job in that role. He knows exactly where to be, what to do, when to run, when not to run. Like, when I watch him, obviously I had a pain to say it, but Havertz is actually a class player. I remember obviously we made that tier list not too long ago, putting him in solid maybe, and then we could have said he could have gone in world class. But it's still there. But obviously, right now he's on quality form, and he's trying to prove us wrong as to why he should be that world class signing. Obviously, when he first signed, granted he didn't have the best of forms, but now he's making a name for himself, and I think he's absolutely fantastic at Chelsea at the moment. What do you think?
100%. It was tough for him when he first joined. He was obviously young. Well, he still is young. Coming into a new league, it does take time to adapt. He also got long COVID as well that affected him. That I was reading about him the other week. He was just getting tired all the time, and it does affect you. I know it's not it is big having COVID, but especially for him, he got it really bad and stuff. But
that's it.
Yeah, you're right. He's not like a typical number 9 that we bought in Lukaku, but he's more of a centre
just
forward,
behind.
isn't he?
He's just playing that just behind, role, and he knows what to do perfectly.
And he's tall as well. He can head the ball. He's good with his feet and stuff. I reckon he's going to be our go-to man from next season. I think Werner and Lukaku,
100%.
Both.
I would
like to.
I'd like to apologise to him as well, Kai Havertz, because I called him an advanced Matic a couple of years ago.
Do you remember that?
He's not that anymore.
No, I could see us definitely building a team around Havertz.
Yeah,
especially
good
this season as the number 9. He's been our go-to guy, hasn't he?
Yeah, 100.
But we'll see what happens against Real Madrid. I'm sure when we all predict it, it'll be quite interesting what we all say.
That's it.
But yeah, bring it on.
That's it.
Yeah.
But moving on, unfortunately, to the Arsenal. I'll leave you to the end of Chris so we can end on a bit of happiness. But listen, right, where do I start? Obviously, I want to cover the Crystal Palace game because we only filmed this podcast like about 10, 15 minutes before the actual Crystal Palace game. I wanted to cover that first. 3-0, against the Crystal Palace side, which, as you boys said before the actual podcast, are a deadly, deadly side. I'd like to go into that game thinking we had good form, so we could have actually snatched a result against them. But, we got absolutely handed to us against that game. Patrick Vieira played a Conor Gallagher that was just on form against us. I don't know what that guy ingested before that game, but he was everywhere. He had Partey in his pocket, and nothing was going right for us that game. That first half against Crystal Palace was the worst 45 minutes of football I've seen from Arsenal Football Club in 2 seasons. That was dreadful. Nothing was going right. We couldn't pass straight. We couldn't, Partey couldn't find a pass to another Arsenal player, for fuck's sake. What else? Do you know what I mean? Tavares had to get subbed off within 45 minutes because he can't do a good job. Do you know what I mean? It seemed to be as well that game. Who was there? That Crystal Palace striker who was big guy. I don't know what his name was.
Mateta.
That's it, something like that. The French guy.
Mateta.
Big guy up front. Do you know what I mean? He was showing why he's that's a striker role. And for me, again, I'm going to bring it up again. Lacazette did nothing that game. He's a hold-up merchant. He's not that number 9 striker that you want to go out and say, yeah, do you know what? I want him in my club to go and score goals. He's not scoring goals. He's got the most assists in our football club. Do you know what I mean? You've got Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe and Martinelli getting more goals than him. It's quite annoying. And, we're back to square one where, we could have reeled up a thing from when I was talking about Emery. It seems to be we've reverted back to that football then. Whenever we lose a game, we're like, oh, shit. Do you know what I mean? We revert back to pure dog football because then we took it back into the Brighton game and Xhaka started left back and Partey wasn't there. So we've completely got rid of our midfield of Partey and Xhaka. Not a single player was there. So we've had to put Odegaard, put him back into centre midfield and put Sambi there. It's a complete new midfield, a complete new system. And then you've had to play Martinelli, Smith-Rowe and Saka. And obviously, I don't know how that man still gets to the team, Lacazette. But, it's a complete new different way. And, the fact that Tavares, don't get me wrong, when he was playing against Crystal Palace, he had an absolute shocker. So did Cedric. They were playing dreadful football. And, but don't get me wrong, Tavares is our only left back because Tierney's had another injury, for God's sake. But what can you do? Tavares, you play left back, you think, he can do a good job, but he seems more like a left winger. He can't really defend properly. Cedric's very, very inconsistent. He can't really defend properly. He's too in the game. He can't really think logically. And then that costs us, because then we get beat, and then obviously Ben White and Gabriel are exposed, and we get a goal conceded against us. I was obviously on holiday when we lost 2-1 to Brighton, and the fact that obviously they were 2-0 up against us at one point, and we only snatched one at the 89th minute. It's like we switched one on. It switched on at like the 70th minute. Why does it take us so long to just switch on? Like, I hope to God that Arteta walked into that dressing room and just kind of looks at everyone. Like, do you remember what we were saying, Chavez, earlier? Just goes into a room and goes, "What are you doing? What was that?" And I haven't seen a generic apology post from these two dreadful performances from any of our players. Not a single apology. And what do we do now? We've got Southampton next game. Chelsea whacked them 6-0. Do I feel confident going to this game? I want to be, but from those dreadful 45 first half minutes from the past two games against teams we should be beating, bearing in mind, I'm kind of like scared of going into it. Because Chris, I remember you were saying not too long ago, we've got the North London derby now on the 12th of May. That's coming up. And, if you said to me maybe 2-3 weeks ago, what do you reckon? I'll be like, yeah, Arsenal, cool. Do you know what I mean? We're on good form, we're chilling. And obviously, I can't base it on these two games because you're like, oh, well, you're just like bad. Do you know what I mean? But if we play like that against you, you'll score about 7 against us.
And you've also got, I think, next midweek, so like a week and a half from now, it might even be less than that, Chelsea away, which is another tough game. I think that's the game in hand that you've got on the teams around you. So it's a big one.
It's funny, though, because now you look at the table, we've still got a game in hand, right? We're 3 points behind you, Chris. So let's say, for example, we beat Tottenham. No, not Tottenham. Southampton, sorry, on the weekend. We're equal you on points. Obviously, you're beating us on goal difference because you're fucking bagging them in somehow. And, and then it's all to play for top 4 at the end of the day. Because then let's say, for example, we somehow get a result against a top form Chelsea at the moment. 6-0 against Southampton, then fantastic. And then we can go into that game against you. Like, it would be a very nice game to see if, like, let's say, for example, we're both on like 60 points. That'll be a big game, as we said earlier. But
I'm looking forward to it.
I just want to ask you.
God, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt.
No,
you said obviously with Lacazette not been playing well, hasn't scored goals. I know we all thought Aubameyang leaving Arsenal was good because he was destructive in the dressing room, but seeing his form at Barca, do you think maybe you should have tried to keep him? Maybe, do you know how like your big players, like we see at PSG, they accommodate for the Neymars, the Messis, the Mbappes? Should maybe Arteta have tried to accommodate for an Aubameyang and seeing what his goals would do? No.
Arteta was playing a way of football that I don't think Aubameyang fitted. He was playing a lot of youngsters that was kind of like surrounding him, and Aubameyang was the figurehead. And it wasn't a way of football that I don't think Aubameyang fitted. And obviously now he's gone to Barcelona and he's fitted a way of football that, like, he's an upfront player. Do you know what I mean? And Adama and obviously and Dembele are fitting around him to supply him, and he's doing well there. But it's weird because when you see like the likes of, I don't know, Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe, like these 45 minutes of dreadful football, they just seem like robots. And Laka, like, he doesn't care. If you watch him, if he loses the ball, he's like, and walks about everywhere. Fella, like, if someone was earning 50 G's a week, they'd be doing another big shift. Do you know what I mean? But look, what can you do? Life as an Arsenal fan, there's always ups and downs. But yeah, Chris, to end on a high, Chris, 4-0 for the Spurs. What's going on?
Wow. What an amazing performance again. When we looked at this weekend as Tottenham fans, after the last week where we won, and obviously, as you mentioned, Arsenal lost, and we were sort of looking at it thinking, we have this tough game. We have Aston Villa away, which is potentially a game that you could lose. Arsenal probably going to beat Brighton at home. I went into this weekend with the expectation of, if we just match Arsenal's result, I'll be fine with that. If Arsenal draw, we draw, or whatever, you know what I mean? I'll take it. So for us to come out with 3 extra points, like in terms of the top 4 race, is absolutely huge. I'll get my words right. Absolutely huge for us. To win 4-0, as you mentioned, Al, the goal difference is like amazing. Major. Now. It's I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's plus 17. And I can remember like 1-2 months ago, before we had these big wins, we were in a minus goal difference, and that was something we were thinking we're going to end the season with a negative goal difference. It was crazy. But yeah, going into those goals, I mean, Son bagging a hat trick. He is on immense form at the moment. I'll give you a stat for everyone listening. He's scored more more non-penalty goals than Salah this season. He's actually second top scorer now in the league with 17 goals. I think Salah's got 20 and Salah's got a few penalties. Son's got no penalties because Kane takes them. So 17 penalty goals. It's an amazing return. That's a lot to do with Harry Kane, who is just continuing his immense playmaking, assisting, game. He's such a complete player. Us Tottenham fans are so blessed to have him. Kulusevski's taken this league by storm. Give me a ginger from Sweden. Get the chance going. Get Aber out. This guy's taking over. He's a balling out on that right hand side. He's really we always had Kane and Son Tottenham. Recently they broke the record for the Premier League. Assists to each other. But now all of a sudden, when people are looking at Tottenham, they're looking at a front three for the first time. Kulusevski has made an enormous difference. If, as a Tottenham fan, if you compare Kulusevski to even other players we've had at the club, as a right now, Lucas Moura, he's making him look like an idiot, like a championship footballer. He needs to go. You got someone like Steven Bergwijn, who is nowhere near as good as Kulusevski. In the past, we've had Eric Lamela, compared to all these similar players who have tried to be that guy to Kane and Son, Kulusevski's walked in 2 minutes and outperformed them all. It's crazy. And I want to give a special shout out to Christian Romero. That man's like a one-man Argentinian tank. This guy has transformed our defense. He's just been unreal these last 3 months. The guy is an absolute superstar. I don't know how we signed him. Paratici, our director of football, with an absolute masterclass. But as you can see, I'm buzzing. Our new players, Bentancur, Kulusevski, Romero, are all doing really well. Conte as well, an amazing manager. He's made Ben Davis look like a sick footballer. That says it all. He's made Matt Doherty look like a competent footballer. That guy was, I don't know where he was the last year and a half, but unfortunately for him, he just picked up a 12-week injury. He's out for the season, just as he was hitting up form. But aside from Doherty's injury, I mean, there ain't no negatives at Tottenham at the moment. It's pure positive vibes. There's nothing to be negative about. I think as Tottenham fans, you can hear them every single game with the Antonio chants. I think the fans are incredibly grateful to have such an obviously talented manager. I think Manchester United fans, the more their problems go on, I know they could perhaps get Ten Hag or Pochettino, but I think, a lot of people at the time saying Conte isn't right. He's like a phenomenal manager. I think he's proved all of his doubters wrong. Yeah. Good managers come in, they make average players better. Like I said about Davis, Doherty, Harry Kane is playing arguably the best of his career right now. Son scoring every game. There's nothing to be negative about. I could honestly go on all day about things I'm positive about, and I'm sure
life's good as a Tottenham fan.
Arsenal fans, as Chelsea fans, and Daniel, who hates Tottenham as well. Shout out. But there's nothing to be negative about except Doherty's injury. I'm excited. We're 3 points ahead of Arsenal right now. Obviously, they have the game in hand over Tottenham. But we play the early game next week. We play against Brighton on Saturday at home.
Which you beat
if we win that game, it's the same game as Arsenal last week. If we win that game, we'll be 6 points ahead. Albeit Arsenal have 2 games in hand, but they've got to go Southampton and probably definitely win. They got to probably get something from Chelsea. We're starting to pull away if we win, of course. But we've won 4 straight wins in a row, and I think it's 6 out of 7 in the Premier League with that stupid Man United game in the middle. Let's not talk about that one. But aside from that, we're growing as a team. I think being out of the FA Cup as well as a top, for Tottenham is huge. Our squad, we got a good first 11 at the moment, but our squad, when we have to play Lucas Moura's and Harry Winkses, you know what I mean? It's going to go wrong. These players are a bang average, let's be real. But our first 11, maybe 14, few subs, are good players. So having only that 1 game a week, I think for Conte is quite, high intensity play. is really big for Tottenham. And yeah, we're seeing good results at the moment. I'm as a Tottenham fan right now. As a Tottenham fan right now, like you're thinking we're going to get top 4. You know, we even our hardest game of the season left, for example, is Liverpool, Old Trafford, Anfield. I hope they don't play at Old Trafford. Sorry, but you know, we go in there, and as of right now, like I know it's going to be a tough game, and we could easily lose. But I'm thinking we could hurt them on the counter attack. You know, with Kane and Son. I'm not fearing Liverpool away. And in previous years, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's a definite L. But yeah, that's what Conte's done. He's transformed the club, and it's just amazing. Come on, you Spurs, coin. You know what I mean?
That's it. There's a few obviously depressive episodes of all of us today because of recent performances from our teams. But yeah, exactly. We had to leave on a high. Which it seems like there'll be the case of, as we'll always start with Chavez Man United first, just to get out of the way with these preseason games. But we have to move on to the predictions now.
Game, Chelsea, Real Madrid. I'm going to kick it off. I know we all kind of backed Chelsea weirdly last week. I still think Chelsea are going to go through. I said 4-0 last week. This week I'm going to say it'll be 3-1 Chelsea, and then on pens, Chelsea will win. Just because I think that whole game last week was just a one-off. Benzema, he can't do that again. I just don't think he can. Go on, what do you think?
I'm going to say 1-1.
Yeah.
1-1, and I reckon Real Madrid will storm through.
I'll go last then.
I'm gonna go for 2-1 Chelsea. I think on the night they could win and they could throw everything at it, but
yeah, Dan. You like
2-1.
2-1.
Oh, 2-1.
Man,
Yeah.
why are we all saying Chelsea?
I didn't. I said 1-1.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Chelsea.
matter because they might say 2-1, but Real go through. I'm going 3-0 Chelsea. I'm confident we're going to win. Go through.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be done. I got to back my team.
All right. Next, so just a fun fact: in all of those 8 predictions across those 10 predictions across those 2 legs, not one of us have given Real Madrid a win on the night. I don't think.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I said Real Madrid 2-1.
Fair play to you. You close actually.
I'm a
3-1.
genius.
Okay, first game of next week. Tottenham Brighton, the early kickoff. Take it away, Chris.
Well, yeah, as I said, it's a chance for Tottenham to move 6 points ahead of Arsenal. I think we will win. It's not going to be a game that I expect Tottenham to score bucket load of goals in like we have previous weeks. I'm going to edge Tottenham. I think it's going to be a very close game. I'm going to say 2-1 Tottenham.
Okay, didn't ask for a prediction, Chris, but we'll keep it going. Preview, but it's fine. I was also going to back you. I think Tottenham will win 3-0. Brighton.
It's annoying because I know they win as well. I reckon you'll go like 3-4-0 again.
I don't think it'll be as many goals. I'll go 1-0 Tottenham.
They'll still win somehow, though, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say 2-0 Tottenham.
Cool. Oh, Tottenham again. All right. The next game, United Norwich. So, United Norwich. With United, we have a knack. As a United fan, I've noticed we have a knack of losing games, against the shitter teams of the league. Saw against Watford 4-1, and then we lost to Everton last week 1-0. So to continue that, now we're playing the team that's lost in the Premier League. Norwich have lost all 5 of their last games against United in the league. They're not very good against us. The last time they actually beat us was in 2015 in that really terrible LVG era, Louis van Gaal. But now there's a really good chance for Norwich to beat us because I promise you they're not going to come across a Man United team that's more spineless than the bunch of players we have right now. So this is such a good chance for them to win. And we know it's inevitable. Norwich will come back in 2 years. They'll get relegated now. They'll get promoted. They'll be playing United again in 2 years' time. And that United team will be very different to the one now. So this is a great chance for them. One more thing. This game will probably get overshadowed by United's yearly Glazer protest. Glazer out. It'll be nice because for once we'll see yellow and green scarves on both sides. So let's see what happens on Saturday. And to predict it as well, I reckon it's so hard to predict this. I keep saying we're going to win, but I think it's time for me to stop saying that. So I'll say 1-0. Very big draw for us.
3-0 United. It's got to be
2-0
done.
United.
4-0 United. I don't know why you're...
Yeah.
2-0 United for me.
Watch, we'll lose probably now. All right, next one. Southampton. Arsenal.
Southampton Arsenal is a strange one because if we go into this game like we did against Crystal Palace and Brighton, we're just gonna absolutely go like a shambles again and lose like a 2-0 like we did all against Crystal Palace. So it's a tough one, but I'm having my high hopes that Arteta's gone into that dressing room and kind of said to everyone, look, fix up. We've got a chance at top 4 here, so let's actually go for it. And he plays everyone, and everyone's actually up for it. So, you know, it's a tough game. It's a must-win game for us. As you said, we've got like Chelsea midweek sometime after that. So, you know, I am having high hopes for this game that Arsenal can pull something out the bag and absolutely dominate. So I'm going to say 3-1 Arsenal. James Ward-Prowse 3 kicks against us.
I'm going to go 2-0 Southampton. They're going to come back strong after 3 losses in a row for Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal.
I agree with Amir.
I'll
I
say
think
3-1.
2-1 Arsenal as well.
3-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, 3-1. I reckon 3-1.
Next one, Watford Brentford. Pointless game, I'm presuming, Dan.
Yeah, so Watford Brentford. The last time we're actually going to play one of the other promoted teams this season, and we've gone in completely different directions. If you look at the table, they're well above us. They're clear of the relegation battle, clear of the relegation zone, and we're stuck in the mud and stuck in a real dogfight. We went there and lost 2-1 away in the dying seconds again, which turned their season and turned ours completely opposite direction. It's a game that we'd need to be looking to win, but the way we've played recently and the way that Tony's banging in goals at the minute, it's not looking very promising. So I'm going to go against us. I'll for 3-0 Brentford.
Wow.
Do you know what? I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to say 3-0 Brentford as well.
Oh.
I'm going to go 0-0.
False hope, Dan. I think you'll get false hope. 2-1 to Watford.
I've had enough of false hope. If we win, I'll sit in next week and be like, doesn't matter.
I was going to say 2-0 Brentford. I can't
Yeah, 2-0 Brentford's going to happen because Chris has got that little DeLorean, little like thing that has all the predictions there. Like, yes,
he's got Ivan Tony.
Actually, I've come back from the future, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Last one, Chelsea Palace FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah, so Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, the London derby. First of all, we've got to give big credit to Patrick Vieira this season. He's done an absolutely brilliant job with the young players he has, the players he's brought in, such as ex-Chelsea player Mark Gay, Mitchell and Zaha Elise. These players have just made Palace a really hard side to beat. With Chelsea, we have a 100% record of getting into the final with every single cup competition so far. We didn't win the FA Cup last season, just falling short against Leicester. But I think Chelsea have the quality to just edge this game. And no Gallagher, which will be a huge loss for Crystal Palace, which is very controversial because he is a Chelsea player. But let's go into the predictions. I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea.
I think Palace.
I reckon Palace will dick you. I hate to say it. I reckon they'll actually dick you. I reckon they'll win like 1-0. I reckon it'll be like an 82nd minute goal. And I reckon they'll win.
I was going to say 1-0 to Palace.
Yeah, 1-0 Palace.
I'll go 1-1. I think it'll be a close game.
Now, what do you reckon the result will be?
Semi-final FA Cup.
Isn't it like penalties, isn't it? Or is it not?
Oh, is it FA Cup? I think Chelsea will win in extra time then. I'll say 2-1 Chelsea after extra time. 1-1 in full time.
That's it. Dan?
I'll say 2-1 Palace. It pains me to say.
Honestly, no, isn't it? There's something with Palace at the moment that we're just thinking, yeah, they've actually got a little bit of a knack for it.
They look good.
Yeah,
they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. That leads us into the final part of the video, very long one, but we're going to do end of season predictions.
Actually, no. Before we do, Man City, Liverpool, FA Cup. What are we saying?
Predict that as well.
Oh, for sure. Do you know what? These two teams, they're like so evenly matched, isn't it? Like I hope they put up a game as good as the one they just did. But
yeah, that was a fantastic game too.
I'm just going to go with my heart. I don't want Liverpool winning anything near a quadruple. So Man City 1-0.
Man City 2-0. I say.
I'm going to edge
the opposite. I'm good. You go
I'm
first.
I'm going to 2-1 Liverpool. I think they'll
I'll
do
go
it.
1-0 Liverpool. I think so too.
2-1 City.
Oh.
Take it away, Chavez.
End of season predictions. I know it's very close to the end of the season, but might as well while we're here. So we've got an order. I'll kick it off. So I'll just quickly go through my order of how I think the season's going to end. So Premier League, Man City. It's again more my heart that I don't want Liverpool to win it. FA Cup, I do think Palace are going to win it this season. We'll see because they've got to play City or Liverpool in the final, but I reckon they'll win it. UCL, Bayern, I know they lost to Villarreal first leg, but I think they'll destroy Villarreal second leg. Europa, Barcelona, can't go wrong with them. Conference, PSV, they're second in thingy. They get behind Ajax, they look like a good team. La Liga, Real Madrid, kind of obvious. Bundesliga, Bayern, obvious. Serie A, I think it'd be funny if none of the Milan teams actually won it. So I'm gone for Napoli. That's my end of season. Who wants to go next?
Go on, Chris.
I'll go next. So my end of the season, I have got Manchester City winning the Premier League despite Liverpool. I'm still siding with Man City. Do not worry, Liverpool fans. I have got you for a cup treble if you include the League Cup. I've got you to win the FA Cup and the Champions League. I think it's going to end well for you. Europa League, you cannot go wrong with Barcelona. I think they're a class above in the Europa League. Europa Conference League, I'm backing Jose Mourinho, Mr. Trophy himself, to complete the Europa League, Conference League and Champions League with Roma. Real Madrid, I think, have got a healthy lead in La Liga. Bayern Munich always win the Bundesliga. And I'm going to side with Inter Milan in the Serie A. Very close there, but Inter Milan.
So I'll go next.
Okay.
I'll go next. I'll have mine straight away. Premier League, Man City. FA Cup, Man City. UCL, Man City. That's how honestly I reckon it'll be. I reckon they'll get their triple, and well deserved because they play absolutely fantastic football. Europa, do you know what? I'm going to go for a blindside here. I reckon Lyon. From the team they put out against West Ham and the football they played, I actually enjoyed watching them play football. So I reckon Lyon. Or Europa Conference. I don't know. Who else? Who?
Leicester, PSV, Roma.
PSV. La Liga, it's pretty obvious. Real Madrid, they're steaming it at the moment. Bundesliga, same again. Bayern Munich, they're steaming it. And so, yeah, as you said, Chris, interesting. But I'm going to stick with this. AC Milan. I reckon AC Milan can steal it.
Cool. I'll go now. Cool. So Premier League, Man City, I think their run of fixtures definitely gives them the edge over Liverpool. FA Cup, I went Chelsea. I think we're going to win it. We got to the final last season. I think this year it's our chance. Champions League, I actually went Liverpool as well. I think they'll win it. Europa League, I wanted to go West Ham, but I don't think they got the squad for it, so it has to be Barcelona. Just too much quality. Europa Conference League, I went same with Chris. I went Roma. Trophy Mourinho. We'll see what he does. La Liga, Real Madrid, I think it's quite self-explanatory. I think they're like 10, 12 points ahead or something.
Yeah, they're steaming it.
Bundesliga, Bayern. It's always going to be Bayern, isn't it? Or most likely. And Serie A, I went AC Milan. I want to see Zlatan and Giroud lifted.
Last one.
Hey, you round. You look quite upset down there.
No, I've pretty much done my predictions. So, yeah, City treble.
Yeah,
Barca to win treble. The competition for it's called Europa League. Roma to win the Conference League, and then sorry, that's
Dan. I'm going to ask you to go again, just so that we have the right TikTok. You lagged. Go again. Your predictions.
Oh. Okay, so City treble. Barca to win the Europa League. Roma to win the Conference League. Real Madrid to win the La Liga, Bayern to win Bundesliga, and AC Milan to win the Serie A.
Come on, AC Milan!
No lag. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, that's everything. That's the amount of predictions we've done today. I think we deserve a break now.
I do, but very quickly before we go, I just want to say something about Barcelona. Did you see they 1-1 against Frankfurt? It was a very interesting game, so we'll have to see. Obviously, they got a red card at Frankfurt, so we'll have to see what happens in the second leg. But
when you've got the best player in the world in your team, you don't have to worry.
Martinelli, they don't know Martinelli.
Can I quickly have a very
They don't
quick
know
rant
Martinelli in
about
their team.
something? Can I have a 10-second rant, please?
Go.
Yeah, go on.
On Match of the Day, Chelsea won 6-0. Number one, they were fourth on the pecking order. That was cool. They got 1 minute of analysis, and it was Ian Wright saying Werner should play Southampton every week. What is that?
Do people
about?
still watch Match of the Day?
What is that about?
I don't think I've watched Match of the Day in about 3.5 years.
1 minute, and he goes, maybe he should play Southampton every week, even though he can't. Terrible analysis. Not good enough.
We'll get your match of the day then.
We'll bring it up to
Yeah,
HR.
get me on there.
BBC.
We'll bring it up to HR. We'll let you know.
I had it written down. I forgot to say it. I had to get it out. 1 minute for a 6-0 win. Terrible.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. Nice little juicy video. We'll have to end it off, as you said, on the predictions. Premier League. It seems me and Daniel are sticking to our guns of a Man City treble because we don't want Liverpool to win anything. No offense, I have a grudge against them. Fuck them. But other than that, for everyone watching, once again, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week with another juicy episode. Take care.